Hey guys, welcome to Sippin' and Spillin' with Sid from 3 Mississippi. It is just starting to rain. We are supposed to have some decent rain tonight. We'll see. But guys, he did it again. He did it again. We're out here in the shop, and you guys know last year when I went to go do the chickens for the Cornish cross that were out in the pasture, and it was time to process them, I went to go grab the plucker and the cord had been chewed through. It was completely broken. And I couldn't use the plucker that day. I had to do it by hand. And I had to do all last year's birds by hand. It was kind of unfortunate. It was not exciting. And so this year I told him, I said, please make sure you fix the plucker, replace the cord, whatever it is you have to do before I have to do the first batch of birds. And he got busy, he forgot about it. He then about, after I had the birds for a little while, I was like, hey, in a month, I'm going to be processing birds. In a month, I'm going to be processing birds, and I started, in 2 weeks, I'm going to be processing birds. Anyway, he ripped the plucker apart, took it all apart, and fixed it, put it back together. By the time I was ready to pluck the first bird, most of which he finished doing like that morning, which was fine. Worked great. No issues. Well, I told him this last week I was going to start doing some more birds. I got some hefty ones out there now. I'm going to do the next batch of them. And he was pulling Kenny out to go do some bush hogging, and he clipped with the bucket, he clipped the cord, the electrical cord, and pulled it directly out of the motor as he was backing Kenny up. And now the cord is not in where it's supposed to be in. It's just loose. So I thought, okay, no big deal. He can just fix it. So I asked him, I said, well, are you going to be able to fix it this week? Because the end of the week, I want to butcher some birds. Well, I don't know if it can be fixed because it ripped directly out of the housing of the motor, and he's not sure if he can fix the casing on that in order to still have it be waterproof. Because, if you guys know how a plucker works, the hose is attached to the outside right over here, and you turn that water on, and water spits in there while the bird is twirling and while the motor's going, and that helps pluck the bird. But the engine, or the motor rather, has to be intact with that waterproof casing on that where the electrical cord comes out from. So that could be a problem. He's gonna have to take it all apart and see if that housing, see what can be done, if he can fix it. But that's a bummer. That's a bummer. I gave him a hard time. I was like, man, you're always on us for not having good situational awareness, and there you go, you broke my plucker again. So he in trouble now. But that was a bummer because I was really hoping that was going to be smooth sailing for me. I got the plucker fixed, it's all good to go. Such is life. It is what it is. I was bummed though. I hope he can fix it. Pluckers are not cheap. I do not want to buy another one. But it has to be waterproof or it's very dangerous to try to use it. So we'll see. I'm hoping that he's able to get it back intact in there, but man, I don't want to be plucking the rest of these birds by hand either. Really don't want to do that. It just takes so much longer when you have to do it by hand. So much longer when you're talking that many birds. So, But guys, you will see in the video that posts on 3 Mississippi today, the abandoned birds. I talked a little bit about them on yesterday's Sippin' and Spillin', and they're doing great. They are doing amazing. I haven't lost a single one yet. I'm telling you, the ones that get hatched out by mamas instead of in an incubator are just so much, they're just, I don't know, they're just hardier. Like nothing phases them, whatever. The geese are doing great with them. Very unlikely foster parents, but they're doing great with them. And we're just kind of, you know, keeping them in there a little longer. I normally may have turned out the geese by now, but I'm gonna keep them in there longer now because of the ducklings. And just because in general right now, I'm just gonna wait a little bit longer. They're, you know, they're really starting to feather out and they're definitely off of heat. But I think, I don't know, I may wait another like 2 weeks or so before I pull them out of the brooder. We'll see how it goes. You know, brooding birds is kind of a long, arduous process sometimes as they go through the different growth spurts. And geese and ducks kind of, they go from really, really tiny to all of a sudden one day you go in there and they're like, you know, and they look full grown. So I'm just gonna keep an eye on them, but I suspect it's probably gonna be closer to 2 weeks before I'm ready to really turn them out in with the rest of the birds and kind of see how that goes. And remember, 2 of those birds are not mine. 2 of those goslings are my girlfriend Jen's that I got for her, but I'm just raising them. And then I still have 2 of her chickens that I had put in with my turkey poults to keep the turkey poults from unaliving themselves, basically. And everybody's doing great. So happy to report that all is well on that front. This little afternoon shower right now that we're having, it's nice. I think that we're gonna have some heavy rains tonight though, guys. And you know, Mike's still working on getting some of his plants in the ground. I think he got a little derailed because he ended up doing a lot of bush hogging out in the back pastures, which they needed it, but it meant that he didn't get to get a lot of these things into the ground yet. So clock's ticking. He's gotta get that done sooner rather than later, that's for sure. But it's definitely cooled down. The humidity's come down. It's feeling nice out here right now as far as temperature wise, but it's definitely going to get wet out here. So it's definitely going to be a wet evening, a wet afternoon, wet evening out here. And Tashka's doing great, guys. She's back out in Gen Pop, and because, well, she managed to get out again. We'll get into that at another time, but she's fine. I've checked her over. She's good. She's not in any pain. She's acting like her old self. You know, they bounce back so quickly. So it's, you know, it is what it is. She's back out there living her best life, barking at, you know, things that she deems a threat. So it's all good. But that's the big report today. I've basically been in the bat cave, editing for the video that you're going to see on 3 Mississippi today. So I hope you enjoy that. Make sure you go and check that out with all the animal shenanigans. So anyway, guys, this will keep this one a little bit shorter today because I do have to run and go pick up Frankie and run a couple errands in town. But I hope y'all are having a blessed day, and as always, safety's off.